Actually,
Probably an awesome job.
It probably is, but we were showing him something and we were like, hey, could you remanufacture this? He goes, I absolutely could. Could I legally sell it to you? Absolutely not. This is not legal for civilians and definitely not legal in New York. Mine's not actually as complicated as you think.
You're in denial, my friend.
No, it's not. Everything serves a purpose here.
Yeah. So I'm in my apartment with a Thunder Bee, complete CO2 in it and everything, and I've got the pin in my hand and I'm just holding the spoon. And I was like, how loud can these really be?
Oh no.
Here's a question. So,
Okay, wait, can we just start the podcast? Because this is all good content to talk about.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Zulu 24 podcast. As always, I'm joined by Anthony from Antec Chairsoft Studios and Jordan from Zulu Outdoor. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk a little bit, and then we're going to go do a gear shakedown. So we're going to go over all our gear, why we use it. I don't know if it looks cool. It's Airsoft.
Cool, it is cool.
We talked about gear last time.
Snack bar.
Oh, also special shout out to the snack bar. Hot food, cold food, red food, blue food, B food, U food, the snack bar. They sell snacks.
You must be feeling better than yesterday because you remembered that.
Yeah, I'm over my half sickness. I don't know. My voice is still a little bit.
MilSim.
Dave has his in coffee cup and his out coffee cup.
Okay, so yeah, In and Out, yeah. That's his new coffee chain, In and Out Coffee.
That's actually a great name.
Yeah,
Coffee
except
at
for
tobacco
your
store.
Don't you want to be in and out when you're getting your coffee in the morning?
Yeah, but you're ripping off In and Out Burger.
Well, but that could also there's multiple
Really quick coffee. USA #1.
yeah hot dog.
That's just
There's multiple meanings behind the In and Out. You know, for me it's one thing. For Anthony it's another. You know, coffee goes in and then it comes out. You know what I mean?
I have other things coming out, and it's not going into a cup.
Like
this one's
ADHD.
This is fantastic. Do we want to talk about the IWA thing? Because I have questions and ideas.
Yes.
So you sent us a video last night, Dave, of
At like midnight,
an IWA mortar.
and it's very cool.
Super cool. It looks like an old design. I saw that design before from TSFLX, if I'm saying that right.
TLS effects.
Whatever.
Yeah.
British company that makes pyro. The video I saw was from like fucking 2009.
I mean, to be fair, all of the IWA pyro is TLS.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's absolutely manufactured by them. It looks cool as shit, man. They have a smoke round for it. They have a flashbang round for it. So apparently it flies like 100 yards or whatever the fuck.
And goes bang.
And if it's their flashbang, it's a fire starter.
Yeah,
which
which
is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And then they have a cluster round, a fucking cluster round. So you fire this thing and then it detonates like 50 meters above the target and then drops, I think he said 8?
Yes, he said 8.
8 mini munitions that come out. Holy shitballs.
Okay, so the first thing I thought when I saw this video was the mortar looks pretty lame.
Sure, but you could make a skin around
That's
it.
what I was going to say. It was like, hey, could we just take that and put that into our blank fire mortar?
We absolutely could because the propellant
Is the round.
Is the round.
Yeah.
So it just needs to be a tube to direct it where to go. So that looked like a 2-inch pipe. You could literally use any 2-inch pipe, or I could like sleeve the 2-inch pipe down.
That's what I was thinking, because then the next thing that popped into my head was, what if it's that size because the propellant in the round only has enough ass to get out of that length?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, to get out of the length of the barrel? Probably not.
Okay, because I immediately went to, what if we sleeved our mortar with that and then used it? The first time we tested it, we would have to put it in one mortar foxhole, drop it, jump in the other one, because the last thing we want is that thing turning into an IED.
It wouldn't. It probably would function much like a 20-inch barrel on an AR.
Just accelerate it.
Yeah.
I would hope. That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah. I'm going to become a dealer just for that. Yep, I know.
But we're still not allowed to use them here.
Yep, I know. So players definitely not, but I have an IWA certificate. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like a P-top thing all over again.
I know.
So like...
Well, okay, so hold on. To be fair, it would be for production standpoint. It would be used for in-game assets by staff.
Airsoft here is still a theatrical production.
Yeah.
Yes. So it would be for a production standpoint so that we could add the effect in during games. I really want to test these.
The testing was important because, I don't want this thing to become basically a 200-yard flamethrower.
Yeah.
You know, like we're just launching forest fires into the forest. You know,
Well, yeah, that's
like,
what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh God, we go to put a round out, land short, burns down the tree line between the mosque and CQB.
I think there's a way to legally use pyrotechnics here. So like
you
Renegades baseball, right? Renegade Stadium is nearby.
Yeah.
I've gone to Renegades games where it was not 4th of July, but they had fireworks.
Yes, because
there has to be
there are
some
companies.
There has to be paperwork or companies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whatever.
So like there was this dude that used to play here. I'm not going to say his last name, but Jimmy. You
Yeah.
remember? Yeah. So he was a pyrotechnics engineer. So he worked for a company like that because we had showed him some other pyrotechnics at some point in time.
That's very cool.
And we're like, hey, could you remanufacture this for us? He goes, I could absolutely remanufacture
That's probably an awesome job.
It probably is, but we were showing him something and we were like, hey, could you remanufacture this? He goes, I absolutely could. Could I legally sell it to you? Absolutely fucking not. This is not legal for civilians and definitely not legal in New York.
Yeah.
Which leads back to it was in the same boat as tags. We were showing him that and he's just like, fuck no. These, for me to set these off, these are fine. For you guys, no, this is not legal in the slightest.
Yeah.
And that was coming from someone that worked in that industry.
Yeah. So basically, New York is a big communist fucking regime. So all you have to do is pay money and you can do anything you want.
Yep.
And depending on how cool the thing is, the money goes up.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. And some things, even if you throw a lot of money at it, you can't have it, like suppressors and SBRs.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're a
because
cop.
they watch too many James Bond movies.
Have money or be a cop or both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Except
yeah.
if you're these things.
Yeah. So if you have a SOT or an FFL in New York, you could have an SBR and suppressors and full auto, but that also requires a lot of money to the feds.
Yeah. New York State government's just a money laundering scheme.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. But yeah, man, that mortar looks cool. The tag mortar looked cool.
There's no way that's
But
coming
there's
to
just
the US,
no- yeah.
ever.
So I have a question about that. So you know how like a blank fire grenade that's using blanks, if like it could be designed the wrong way to where it would be considered a firearm.
Yes,
Like the TRMR is not a firearm.
it is.
It is. Oh, legally it is.
Legally, it is.
But
So
it's not.
legally, blank fire grenades in that regard, like the TRMR,
Bang 22?
no.
Right, so
'Cause
that's-
it uses a ram set.
Right. So that's not a firearm. So
Right.
now here's the question. If one were to make a mortar that actually shot out the projectile using the pressure from a blank primer, would that, because it's coming out of a tube and there's an open end to it,
It fires a projectile
And it has
using
a barrel.
gunpowder.
It's a firearm.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
a firearm.
Yeah, because that's the same thing when
That's why our blank fire mortar is fine because it doesn't shoot anything. It just makes a noise.
yeah.
right.
And I'm using shotgun blanks. Like,
Yeah, in the case of like the TRMR, in England they're fine. In the US, by ATF classification, they are technically considered firearms. That's why importing them is so hard. That's why once you see them in the US, the price hikes up.
Now, what characteristics of that grenade's design makes it a firearm?
Reloadable.
Reloadable. Even though you can't put a live round in it.
Thanks,
Sorry?
Dave.
Even though you can't physically put a live round in it.
Right. This is the same bullshit laws for the sake of laws kind of stuff that
Yeah.
like when I was dealing with
I'm trying to figure out what the loopholes would be to
I've
make
been
something
racking my
legal.
brain
Yeah.
about it because here's another one that's ridiculous. So I was on the phone with the ATF over the BOSS systems.
Yeah.
And the conversation moved to Airsoft, and they're like, oh, this is really cool. Yeah, you're right. We don't have to take a look at this. It has no barrel that a projectile can be put down. And she, the woman and I were going back and forth, and we got on the topic of Airsoft barrel extensions. The ATF sees your PTS suppressor as a suppressor. They see it as a legitimate firearm suppressor, which is why you see the US version and the tracer version. Because the US version can't be opened up, has to be solid metal all the way through. You can't put foam in it because technically the moment you put the foam in it, the ATF considers it a real suppressor. And that's some of the most ridiculous stuff in the world because she's like, yeah, if you put it on an actual firearm, it would work. And I'm like, no, it fucking wouldn't.
It would not.
It would not work even slightly.
It might work based on the legal definition of a suppressor. Like a suppressor just modifies the report.
So would a fuel filter, but you don't have to file for an SOT to go to AutoZone and buy a fuel filter.
As long as it changes the report at any capacity.
Correct.
So like the M733, the XM177 super long flash hider is a suppressor, not because it silences the gun. It's because it changes the report. Makes it sound like AK.
Yes. So because of that,
you need a tax stamp if you have one of those flash hiders.
if it actually does its job correctly, yes.
Right.
But that's why I'm saying that's why you see things like the US version and the Tracer version, because airsofters found a loophole with that. The Tracer version, you have to be able to take the Tracer unit out to charge it. You see where I'm getting at here?
Yep.
So that's why I'm saying it's laws for the sake of laws. They're not actually, there's probably a loophole, but it's probably so far removed, because even with the Braytac Thunderbees, you're taking a Thunderbee already in the United States and putting a conversion kit in it. That's fine. You're not buying a blank fire grenade. You're buying a conversion kit.
Yeah.
When you're Dom and you try and buy 4 grenades because, you think that it's going to get by because you work in law enforcement, and I tell you, no, don't do that, because they're not going to get through customs. So the feds don't care who you are.
That's the Thunderbee conversion.
That's the Thunderbee conversions, because he tried to buy 4 fully assembled Thunderbees with the blank fire kit already installed. And what do you know? They didn't get through customs because they're considered firearms.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck. But that mortar's pretty cool. I think if I become a dealer,
We should test it.
yeah, for sure.
I like the idea of that, because, man, that would make the blank fire mortar even cooler.
Well, it wouldn't be a blank fire mortar.
be a
at that
It
point.
wouldn't be a blank fire
Well,
mortar.
Now you actually have to aim it.
Yeah.
Hit
Right,
your
which
darts.
means that
Well,
Margin of error.
margin of error.
what it also means is like,
Now fratricide's a real issue.
Well, you could also take the MilSim West. That's a small enough mortar. It's like a little knee mortar.
You could, but based off of IWA pricing, there's no way that's going to be cost effective for an individual.
No.
Yeah,
No, those rounds are probably $40 a piece.
Yeah, like when you sent that to me, I was like, "That's cool," but I already know what IWA pricing looks like.
Yeah.
there will
There's
definitely
no
be
fucking way.
there will be a group of dudes going to MSW together that if they want their group to have a mortar, they might all pitch in.
Yeah,
so
why
that
not?
They have that.
I mean, look at the Brits. The Brits had that
They brought a
noisemaker.
They brought like a technical. Like,
No, they had a mortar for a little while.
I think of the people that actually invest in a technical to bring to MSW, and it's like a legit technical.
Yeah, but we're not talking about technicals.
What I'm saying is that's definitely more expensive than a mortar. So people will pull money in.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't think cost is the issue.
Sure.
Yeah.
In a group setting, yeah, for sure. But I mean that it's like a 2-inch pipe with it's almost like a knee mortar from World War II, the Japanese knee mortar.
Yeah.
So it's really tiny, and the rounds probably don't weigh anything.
No, but that Brit mortar actually shot stuff.
I want to make
Kind of.
So if that was the thing,
It was
there,
the range was dog shit.
Yeah.
and it was incredibly inaccurate.
it was made by the same company that made the AT4 internals.
Yeah,
But the thing was, they went down the rabbit hole that we were going down with the AT4, where buying the rounds from Russia got impossible. So
Yeah.
we were trying to remanufacture them, because at the time we could get them in, but then they got exorbitantly expensive. So when you guys saw them using it at like Panthera, they were remanufacturing rounds.
oh, it was dog shit.
So it shot,
Yes, it did shoot.
but it also didn't go off.
That's why I really appreciate like the Boss unit, and I even appreciate the Thunderbee, right? Because it's trying to get that immersion without it being pyrotechnic, and
That's why I like the Braytac.
and that's like a fun engineering challenge to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, how can we get the sound of a grenade with it being like completely legal and safe, just using like air pressure and
Yeah, the Thunderbee is a
like
cool
using
idea.
some
The-
other means.
The problem with the Thunderbee is that it's temperature dependent. And yeah, you could put a penny at the bottom or take the spoon off and smack it against the wall so it properly punctures the...
and any amount of corrosion or
Yeah.
rust or salt in the Thunderbee is just going to make it not effective.
That's why when the Braytac thing started showing up, I was like, this is genius.
And the needle dulls out too. And
Yeah. Because with the Braytac Thunderbee conversion, it's just a 9mm blank. It's still utilizing the Thunderbee hammer to hit the blank round, but you're reinstalling all the internals. So like, I think that's a perfect solution. The problem is the legality of it.
My experience with Thunderbees has always been it's either one or the other. It either does not go off at all,
Or works perfect.
or it goes off in your hand because you did mods to it to try to get it to go off to begin with.
That I haven't had an issue.
No,
I've had one go off in my hand. It's pretty gnarly.
I've had a tag go off in my hand.
yeah. The best ones are the Thunderbees that go off 18 minutes later.
right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they're just sitting there, and like we're playing down here, and all of a sudden you're
Yeah, the
the
game,
mosque. You're like,
the game's over. You're like, oh, there's my Thunderbee. And it's like,
Yeah, it doesn't go off, but it swells up, and you
Looks like
watch
a
that one
pillow
player
case.
stand there just shooting it
yeah.
for 5 minutes.
it is now like a volleyball.
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, good for the industry for trying to do something. Dude, I remember when I first started playing Airsoft, I was living in an apartment in New Paltz, actually, and I bought some Thunderbees because why the fuck wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, at the time, they were the best thing around.
Yeah. So I'm in my apartment with a Thunderbee, complete CO2 in it and everything, and I've got the pin in my hand, and I'm just holding the spoon. And I was like, how loud can these really be?
Oh no.
And then I put the pin back in and like left it.
Okay.
I didn't set it off. And I'm thankful I didn't, because when a Thunder Bee works correctly,
It's
like 120 decibels.
Yeah,
dude.
it's
like
pretty
fucking
loud.
loud as shit.
yeah, it's super loud.
And so I'm glad I didn't do that,
All the mods for Thunder Bees.
especially in fucking New Paltz.
Put
Jesus.
a penny in it to get the CO2 closer to the needle.
Mm-hmm.
Drill holes in the tube to let the air escape quicker. Cut
take a knife
slits.
and-
Put a little bit
Yeah.
of water. Put a little bit of water in the shell itself.
Because you can't compress water.
Compress water.
Right. Yeah,
That one is the most effective one.
I remember people put baby powder in it,
I used to do that.
which is just.
And then some people were just like, nah, you shouldn't do that because if you breathe it in, it's bad for you.
But is
So I
baby
put
powder
glitter in it.
IR reflective?
Probably.
If it's not, thank you.
So the other
the-
one that
for
we
the
should
powder.
we
Thank you
should
for
bring
the
into the
treatment.
fold, because we talked about blank grenades and we're talking about Thunder Bees. You remember those stupid fucking snap cap grenades, the ones that Chris Koof used to like?
So that was a product designed by somebody else, but yeah, he had.
They're making a comeback because I've had like 3 players send it to me in the last week going, hey, look, there's this company that's selling them. It's like $20 for a 3D printed grenade that you put the red snap caps in.
Yes.
And they're like, are these
so
field legal?
quiet.
And I'm like,
I mean, yes. but-
technically, yes. I'm curious to see them. Well, some of them, like this one, requires 5 of them. So
Oh,
what?
it sets 5 off at a time?
Yeah. So
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
I'm almost wondering what happens when you set 5 off.
If you go on Thingiverse, you will find a plethora of 3D print files for all these impact airsoft
yeah,
grenades.
that's why I'm curious.
And
I'm
what's
thinking about
cool-
ordering one.
What's cool about them being 3D printed is that, if you have your own printer,
You could just do it.
Yeah, if you use cheap enough material, you can use PLA and say it's biodegradable.
Yeah.
And like if you lose them or if it breaks, screw it. You spent less on that than you would on an E EG.
So like this company, they have a couple versions I was looking at. They have the one like we've seen where it looks like a ball, so it's supposed to look like his M67. But now they have ones that look like flashbangs, so you stack them vertically inside, and it's got like the TRMR trigger at the top where it's impact, and when you throw it, it should go off and set all of them off. They also have a landmine version.
Yeah.
I know a player that plays here bought the landmine one, so we're gonna have to touch that topic at
That's
some point.
fine.
We still have those airsoft landmines, the ones you fill with gas.
I still have them at my house. Yeah,
I got one person with it once, and
I
it
used to
was
set 'em up
and
when I
it
was
was.
reffing.
I think it was you. I think I got you with it.
no, I used to set them up, when
But I wasn't.
reffing.
I wasn't playing. Yeah, I was reffing. I was on top of Pennzoil for a ShamWow game.
Oh yeah, and you put water in it. Yeah, you did get me.
I buried a mine and yeah, I was like, there you go, got him. And it was just
Lame.
Yeah.
Fucking lame.
I remember Nick and I used to do that. We would go out and we would set both of them up inside the Pennzoil building for ShamWow Pennzoil.
Oh, fuck.
And, but we wouldn't put it like right in the doorway.
Yeah.
We'd put it in the corner or we'd put it like right up against the half wall.
Yeah.
So there wasn't 100% chance they'd go off. But it was so funny when a player would walk over, take a knee thinking he's got the right angle.
even
Water.
then they're kind of uneventful because they don't make a noise.
No,
really.
they don't. That's why I'm curious with the landmine version of these. But what I had told the player was I think it's kind of lame because even with those S Thunder landmines, they were pretty big. Like if
It's
you
a
wanted
bit of digging.
if you wanted to set that up on the field, like it took 5 minutes. You had to have an e-tool. You needed to dig it down. Like you had to have a spot to carry that fucking thing. These are like they're smaller than your cell phone. So you literally just put the cap in it and just like throw it out.
Little
I'm thinking
toe
of
poppers.
Yeah.
22 Ramset blanks. Like you can make a mechanism that like when you step on it,
That already
there's
exists.
a point when you step on it where like the firing pin has to like flick down onto it.
Yeah, that already
You know?
exists. Dom
And that
has them as tripwires. The problem is because there's no expansion chamber on them, they're quiet. They're very, very quiet.
But if you
So-
make them with an expansion chamber and you put a couple ramp sets in it and the gas escapes out the side and then it shoots the dirt up.
that would be cool. Because like I haven't.
And then it takes
personally-
their foot off, and then they're out of the fight. And then two buddies have to carry them.
honestly, the only hazard I can think of from something like that is already dealt with because of Vipro. It might kick a rock up.
It would have to be pretty loud because tell me if I have to bleep the name. So when JTAC ran a game here, they had set those things up, and that's where Dom saw him for the first time. I was like, I want these things. I was like, that was so lame because they had set up a 22 Ramset blank tripwire, like somewhere out at Fuel Depot.
Yeah.
And one person walked by it, and I'm talking like it's over by the flag. They walked by, set it off, and the dude running the game comes running over, and like we're on the other side of the Fuel Depot building, goes, everyone within 150 feet is dead. He stepped on a landmine. You're all out. And we're like, what are you talking about? And it was just like, all you heard was a crack.
Yeah, if you don't have the proper effect,
So
then
lame.
they're kind of dumb. Yeah.
So lame. So if you're going to do it, it has to be loud. enough. Because nothing's more lame than that. That's the same reason why when Dylan and I
Yeah.
were coming up with the airstrike mechanic, we're like, it has to be loud enough.
That's all airsofters want. They just want whatever the
I don't mind being
pyrotechnic-
killed by something stupid.
They just
but I
want it to
wanna
be
hear
loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like gas grenades.
Yeah.
They don't make noise. Like they shoot BBs out. And I guess for indoor, there's that mechanic to it. But like,
Well, at the same time, Dave was talking about Thunderbees. The other popular grenade at that time was the Airsoft Innovations Tornado grenade.
Oh, the tornado. Yeah.
You remember those?
Yeah. Yeah.
They had the 3-second timer one or the impact timer one. I had the impact ones. I remember you just have to take the 2 washers and the 2 spacers and
Stack
stack
'em
them
up.
correctly and then
Yeah.
spin the grenade back together, put gas in it. It would leak out by the time you go to throw it. But when it did finally go off, it was just a
Yep.
and shot maybe 100 of the 300 BBs you put into it.
Oh, CJ had one that
Worked every
functioned perfectly, and it,
rip Airsoft Innovation.
yeah, right. It was obviously the device going off wasn't loud, but hearing all those BBs hit every wall
yeah.
inside was
they work
loud. I was
well.
like, holy shit! Like in terms of fragmentation, those things were pretty good.
Yeah, but that's
Pretty
why I'm
good.
saying, like, at the time, it was either a Thunderbee or that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I think that grenade, the tornado grenade, was like $150.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was
And I remember
stupid
the
expensive.
only reason I had them, like 14-year-old, had a weekend job Jordan, was because Airsoft Megastore messed up and they were supposed to list them on sale for $130 and they listed them on sale for $13.
I'll buy 10 of those, please.
So I could afford 3 at the time.
Oh man,
So I bought 3, but a bunch of people had bought like 20, 30, 40. And I remember seeing on the, at the time, the Facebook Airsoft Classifieds group was popular. A bunch of people talking about it. Airsoft Megastore had canceled everyone's order if they ordered more than 5. They were
Hell yeah.
willing to admit their screw up, but only if you ordered 5 or less. So I actually got those grenades. I cherished those fucking things.
yeah. CJ was very hesitant on throwing it because they had a tendency to grow legs and walk
Yeah,
away.
one of mine did grow legs and
Yeah.
walk. I remember throwing it into the old embassy at HVA,
Yeah,
and it was bright blue. I threw all 3 in one game. I only found 2 of them,
yeah.
and that building was like 20 feet long.
There was definitely a lot of conversations about 550 cord and like being able to like reel it back in.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, fuck it, man. I'll buy the
Thunderbees.
Thunderbees.
They're
And-
like $20.
yeah, and even if I lose the core, who cares? They usually break after the first time anyway, so who cares?
Airsoft grenades have come such a long way.
Yeah. If you find a Thunderbee in the woods while playing Airsoft, like, and if, let's just say you're going to be a bad airsofter. You're not going to bring it to lost and found. You did not hit a jackpot. You did not find anything of value.
No.
Also, nothing's worse than losing your reusable grenade in the woods.
That's why I don't like throwing reusable grenades.
Yeah, there's just something that can exist that's cheaper than an EG that will go off and be loud, and you could throw it and not care about it. That would be beautiful.
That's why I'm interested in those snap cap grenades, because now that
Yeah.
it takes like 3, 4, or 5 of them, that could be pretty loud.
Yeah.
And they're $20.
How easy is it to get those snap caps?
The website that sells the grenades sells the caps.
Oh, and you can
Yeah.
buy them in New York?
Yeah, they're just like cap gun.
Yeah.
You know, like the old revolver cap guns.
Right,
with
those
the-
caps. You know the red cylindrical ones?
That's what I'm talking about. They're the long.
The
Oh,
long,
those ones.
The
Those
long
ones.
red cylindrical ones, because those are the ones you throw on the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
and they go
Yeah,
off.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know I don't know what those fall into in New York. It's well,
You can buy them around 4th of July.
yeah, but that's like 2-week grace period.
Yeah.
But also Pennsylvania's right down the road.
You know,
I'm not saying do anything illegal. I'm just saying that we live near states.
If you drove from
42 minutes away.
Maine to play
Yeah, right.
Zulu, Pennsylvania is a shorter drive from
Yeah.
Zulu.
yeah, let me real quick make sure that I think the website that sells the grenades also sells them.
But we live behind the Iron Curtain, so
Now, as far as like loud noises and stuff and ear protection, how are you liking your axles so far?
I like my axles.
My axles I'm liking them.
So now that you pointed out the wind noise thing, putting a little foam on the outside,
yeah,
that helps.
the foam comes with it.
Yeah, so that helps exponentially.
yeah, drastic difference.
There's 2 things with mine that I find very annoying. I guess 3. One is sometimes it's left on and I don't realize that it's on.
Okay.
Another thing is when it is on, it does. Okay, 4 things. Another thing is when it is on, it emits a light. So I wouldn't want to use it
Yeah.
at night.
I put tape over that.
Other one, I wish I got a wireless one
No.
because the wire, honestly, it just gets snagged
annoying.
up.
Oh, it's so
annoying. Yeah, and the little control things on it are kind of they're kind of heavy. They kind of weigh down. And
So to me,
and then the fourth thing, in the cold, the ear
the
thing,
plugs.
the earplugs that actually protect your hearing, they get so rock hard in the cold that like you can't even mush them and get them in your ear.
So for me,
Yeah.
I have a couple different sets of hearing protection for different instances because much like we're going to get to with chest rigs and plate carriers, I don't think there's a perfect solution for every single thing. For the winter time, I've been wearing contacts because they're big. They go over your ear. I got the gel cups. They warm up once they're on your head, so it actually keeps your ears pretty warm. In the summertime, I fucking hate that, so I wear the axles. The issue I run into is when you say you wanted to get a wireless one instead. When we go to USPSA nights on Tuesday, there's a guy there that has the Axle wireless ones. And even he said, he's like, they have a tendency to fall out when I'm running. So for me, I'd rather have the wire that goes over your ear and locks them in. So even if they do pop out, you're not losing them. Because the other thing there is the wireless ones are double the price.
Some people are gifted with ear shapes
That are
just
perfect.
that just retain
Yeah.
like earplugs. My ears are not that. Any earplugs I put in, they're gonna fall out.
I do notice
Without fail.
And this, not to circle back to it, Tarkov does such a stellar job of showing the quality of different hearing protection because
It's all right.
That's a thing in the game.
Yeah.
The hearing protection. What happens if you don't wear hearing protection?
You can't hear as far.
yeah.
That's about it.
So with I
You
have
get concussed and it takes longer to get like full audio back.
that's Arma.
The audio in Tarkov is absolute fucking dog shit.
But you do notice a difference
But
between
they-
different hearing protection.
Yeah, but if you switch between contacts or
Yeah. So like I have Swordens, Comtacs, and the Axles.
Yeah.
The Swordens, in my opinion, are the worst ones. The Comtacs are good all around ones, but I don't feel like they're loud enough. The Axles, I feel like they are louder than Comtacs, so you have more distance in terms of hearing.
Yeah.
But they don't do such a good job when it comes to noise reduction. They're good for the boss unit. They're good for handguns. I shot rifles with the Axles, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't really love this."
When you have all that concussive force, you want something to kind of cuff.
Yeah,
cuff over your ear.
as soon as we go to shooting rifles, I immediately took out Comtacs because I was like, after the first probably 5 or 6 shots of shooting 308, I was like, no,
Now,
no.
there are affordable replicas of actual ear pro, like the ear Moors,
I have tried them on.
the like the $50 ones.
Alex has them. I hate them.
Hearing protection. Do they
Hearing-
protect your hearing?
They do, but have you tried them on?
I have not.
Okay, so there's 2 things there with like the Amazon special Comtac repros. The audio is terrible and they are uncomfortable.
Evix sells ones. Vandervars has one, and he says he's happy with the audio on it. He told me to get a specific replica, and it's still in that like $50-something range.
I wouldn't, just because. So here's the thing with the ear Moors that Alex has, and it's probably the same ones because him, Joe, and Eric all like those. If you put it to the max volume setting, so you get the most amount of hearing you can, the speakers are so close to each other, even with your head in the way, that you get the static buzzing feedback. It is terrible. I don't know how anyone buys those and are happy with
Now, I saw on Evic, they have like the $500 version of the ear Moors. Like they're made by Earmore, but they're the
probably
really expensive one.
good because much
you-
like with iPro,
Do you
get what you
think
pay for.
right? But do you think that the really to me, I see it like it's getting the nicer Somo Gear Pec.
Yeah,
The nicer Somo Gear Pec is potted,
and worth
and
it.
YouTubers have shown that it'll hold 0 on their rifles and stuff.
I can show you side by side.
Yeah.
I have one that's
But-
potted and one that's not.
But is it as good as an actual Pec 15?
The quality of it in terms of the IR laser and illuminator, yes. Do I trust a Somo Gear on 5.56? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
When it
Now,
comes to hearing
with
protection,
the Earmore, do you think if you're going to spend $500-$600 on the
no,
nicer
just buy
ones,
contacts.
Exactly.
Just
Okay,
buy
that's what I was
contacts.
getting at.
Yeah, no, go on eBay and buy a pair of Comtac 3s or 4s. After playing with the boss system so much, it actually made me interested. Like little Dave has the Comtac 6s, and I'm like, I could almost justify this purchase now because I have Comtac 3s on my helmets on the arc rails, and these are comfy. But like I said, they're not as loud as my Axles. So even when I'm wearing my helmet, I have the Axles on instead, and the Comtacs just sit on my helmet unless I absolutely need to. Like when we were at MUTC, I took the Axles off and put these down because going into a building, dealing with tag grenades and the boss system at the same time, I put these on.
Yeah.
This was much more needed than the Axles. For playing here, the Axles are fantastic hearing protection. Outdoors, no problem. But like the Comtac 5s and 6s, it's real hard to not look at them and be like, I could justify that purchase now because they are you actually get what you pay for when you buy nice hearing protection.
Right.
In comparison to like Howard lights. You can put on a $40 pair of Howard lights and put on a $150 pair of contacts. You are going to hear the difference. And after an hour or two, there is a difference in comfort. And that is a big deal.
Mm-hmm. I hate it, bro. I hate it.
So do I.
I hate it too.
Yeah. To be fair, nothing about this. Like, I hate hearing protection. That's why I jumped to the Axles, because they're the most least invasive.
It kind of ties into like what we talked about last time with gear. Like any amount of anything that you wear on your body that isn't your naked body, it's going to be it's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There's like, it's not like, oh, if you get this gear or this headphone or this helmet or this plate, like no, like you wear it for long enough, you're doing enough things in it, it's going to get in your way. You kind of just have to suck it up or train through it. There is some gear that's definitely more uncomfortable than other pieces of gear.
Like even just talking the foam padding between Swordens and contacts, night and day difference.
Or the gels.
The gels are worth it.
The gels are the way.
Or 4D pads.
Yeah.
4D pads and helmets, yeah.
Yeah, the Team Wendy chin strap over the stock OpsCore H-Nape, there is a huge difference. Yeah, it's a $60 difference, but it's a huge comfort difference.
Yeah. Axle, not the earbuds, but the gear company, Axle.
Oh, yeah, I have a bunch of their stuff too.
It's either them or Hardhead Veterans. I forgot which one. They have like aero pads for helmets. And they're
That's
3D,
Hardhead Veterans.
Hardhead Veterans, yeah. And they're 3D printed, not like FDM print, different type of printer. But it's like super lightweight.
Yeah, it looks like a
Have you seen
honeycomb.
those? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a 3D honeycomb.
I want to try those out. I know some guys that...
Eric has them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does he swear by them? Because my 4D pads are great, but in the cold, they are hard as rocks.
Yeah, but once your head warms them up, they're all right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like them though, because like even in the cold, I can wear my fleece beanie and I can still throw my helmet on top of that, and it's not like, oh, I have to adjust my chin strap.
Yeah,
you know, it's a little bit tighter, but you look cooler when you don't wear the chin strap anyway.
Jesus.
Although it dangles and gets caught in my shoulder stuff.
Well, that's the entire reason.
I shoulder my gun and then my helmet goes down.
When you have contacts on your helmets on the arc rail mounts, you don't need the chin strap anymore because the Ear Pro keeps your helmet in place.
Right. So you just cut it off.
No, no. My Team Wendy cam fit on my helmet is 10 years old, and it still works perfectly fine. It is the best chin strap on the market.
Do we all have Team Wendy cam fits in our helmets?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. When I got my helmet, I went straight to you and I was like, what do I do? What do I need? And you were like,
Team Wendy cam fit.
you're like, it does not matter what helmet you get. You don't need a ballistic helmet.
It's Airsoft.
You recommended like the FMA.
Yeah, the FMA.
The thick shell one.
Yeah, I like those. The thin ones are fine. But Team Wendy cam fit, 4D pads. And I see that you took my recommendation and went to Walmart and bought the cheapest red
oh, yeah.
light. Yeah.
I don't leave it on my helmet, but like if I'm ever doing night stuff, this is around my neck.
Yep. Works perfectly.
Yeah.
It's $20 and it does the same thing as the $50, $60 Princeton Tech and Black Diamond ones that Tyler swears by.
And when getting a red light, it's super important to find one that does not require you to cycle through the white LED.
Yeah.
You want one that can get you straight to the red light.
The Walmart one, you just hold the button and it goes to red.
Yeah. If I accidentally hit this button, I'm fucked. But
Yeah. You just blinded Dave.
Yeah, fuck.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. The red light is so useful.
Yeah.
But yeah, you helped me out a lot with this helmet. Everybody, I spoke to you, Vandervaart, like everybody, and everybody was like 4D pads, Team 1D chin strap, and like
Pick whatever counterweight you want.
yeah. My counterweight is these are tire balancing weights.
I use a external battery from my cell phone.
I was on tight budget. I got this helmet from Hardhead Veterans. It was their gray one, so it was discounted.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I have a really small head, so I had a really hard time finding a helmet. Everybody's helmet I tried on, they were like, this is a medium. And I was like, dude, I look like Darth Helmet from Spaceballs, you know?
Fast forward two or 3 years now.
I couldn't find lead weights at Walmart, and I wasn't going to spend money on lead weights from like a night vision company. Like, so little Dave pulled up, he had all these weights, so I just
Tape them together. That was what mine.
It's
my
definitely
first
bulky, but
counterweight
like
used to be like that. No, but fast forward, 2-3 years. Now there's a repro of the new OpsCore SF helmet. They are tiny. They would fit your head perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have them over there, the multicam black ones. They come in all the colors. That's the same helmet Tyler spent like $1,400 buying the real one. We got the repro ones in, and I'm just like,
and it's just a bump helmet.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
My issue with cheap helmets, and that's why I went to like a company that actually makes helmets.
Yeah.
And not like just an airsoft company that's reproing stuff. I've bought repro helmets in the past where like the shroud was crooked.
Right. That's a big deal.
Everything was crooked.
I haven't noticed with those, the shrouds being crooked, because it's not the shroud itself, it's the holes. Are the holes drilled properly?
Right.
And on those, they are actually drilled properly. In the same way, like everyone looks at mine and they're like, oh, you have an airframe. I was like, yep, but it's not a real one. It's the Dragon Red airframe from 2014, which has now been rebranded to a bunch of different other companies. The holes are straight.
Yeah.
Once you find a helmet where the holes are straight, if it's a repro, just keep using that one.
There were some decisions I made for my helmet where I went against what you guys suggested because I was trying to keep it super poor for my PVS 14. And actually, the first time I used this, I was borrowing Tyler Erico's nods.
The only thing I don't like about your helmet is the fact that your arc rails are M-lock.
Yeah, I might try to replace that. Or honestly, I haven't really mounted anything to it, but if I do, I might just get an adapter. But Hardhead veterans, like if I were to do Comtax, they have the things for their M-lock arc rails.
So the issue running in with that, because I've talked to a couple of people that have tried it with the Team Wendy one, so they get like the sword and arc rail adapters, and then they have to get the Team Wendy adapters. When you bring the arc rail mounts down, it doesn't lock. Like when it does lock into place, it's not close enough to your ear to actually fully seal.
Right.
Because now you have more stuff making an offset on the top.
Right.
That's something you just got to play around with. That's why for me, I'm still stuck in my ways of using the old school arc rails that OpScore came up with.
But yeah, so one of the things I did against your guys' advice was when it came to actually mounting my night vision, I went really cheap.
Yeah, you're using a 3D printed arm.
You guys were talking about like changing the shroud, get a Wilcox shroud, get a Wilcox mount. I got this Repro Wilcox mount used from Hoffman for like $50. And honestly, like it works. I put the bungee straps on it and it gets rid of most of the wobble. It's still fully adjustable. And yeah, my arm, I 3D printed. Actually, this is my backup. So I found this file online for this arm for a PVS 14, and it's just simple. It was super cheap, and I've had this same one on here for like years. And
I don't know, maybe
the only
Dave will
annoying
agree
thing,
with me in this logic.
the actual swing of the arm, right? When I want to articulate my tube is sometimes it gets loose and you just have to tighten the screw.
So
Maybe some rubber washers will like help stiffen it up.
Maybe Dave will agree with my logic on this because we're spewing a lot of gear nerd shit. If I'm gonna spend a couple $1,000s buying night vision, I don't trust a 3D printed arm to hold it in place, and I definitely don't trust a reproduction Chinese arm to hold that in place.
If I had real night vision,
you have real night vision.
Yeah, but I didn't.
To me, a PVS 14 is the bare minimum for what real night vision is.
I didn't pay.
That's fine. But
I paid a little bit of cash and the rest was a trade where I did a build.
Yeah, but protect your investment. Like, do you go buy the cheapest brakes rotors to put on your car knowing that you need this car to go the distance?
Yes.
Okay, well.
It's a skill issue, Jordan.
Yeah, apparently so. Because to me, even when I had a budget baller, like I had a $1,200 PVS 14, even then, I still had a Wilcox J-arm and a Wilcox mount. Or I had a Neurotos arm and a Neurotos dual dovetail because I know that at its base core, it's just a CNC'd piece of metal that's supposed to do it right. But it's the quality. You're paying for the quality.
It's the precision of how the dovetail fits and all that stuff.
And because of that, to me, like I spent, even though it was only $1,200 on a 14, that was still $1,200 I spent. So I don't want to trust that to a 3D printed arm.
Dave's out here being a zoomer.
No, I just don't. We ventured into a realm that interests me 0%. Sorry.
We're talking about. I mean, look, your helmet. You don't care.
I don't give a shit.
Dave is the exact opposite of a gear whore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, are we in the gear review?
Yeah, we're in the gear section. We're talking about helmets.
Are you done with your helmet now?
No, not yet.
Okay. Finish up.
So I have the PVS 14. Little Dave actually built it, sold it to one of our friends, and then I bought that or traded with a friend some cash, I built him a gun. Lithium batteries. I've learned always use lithium batteries. I haven't killed mine with alkaline batteries, but
no, I mean when I had a 14, I just used Duracell.
If it's lithium, it's not going to explode and get acid in there.
That's true, but here. Let me help you. Just don't store it with a battery in it.
And I have the Butler Creek cap. so I can close it up. And then underneath that, I have my iris. So I got this like iris from Amazon, and I just cut a little slit into the Butler Creek. I tried to 3D print a sophisticated thing, and then eventually I was like, screw it. Like this, honestly, not everything has to be like designed in 3D.
So now that iris basically does the same thing as people who used to drill a hole in the Butler Creek so that you can instantly look
like one of these.
close. Yeah.
And the iris allows me to do it. Like it gives me that whole spectrum.
That's fancy.
So sometimes what's nice with it is when we did AMS Arsenal and we did the night portion, there was darkness, but then there were some buildings with lights on. As I was approaching those buildings with lights on, I could just close my iris. I could still see. And I was...
Because it is also restricting light.
And it was close quarters anyway. So like I'll just kind of zero mine out for the stars. And then the iris... It changes that. So going indoors, it was like I could actually see my pistol sights.
Yeah.
So that's what's really nice about that. You get to see your iron sights, and it doesn't really mess up. Do you know what it does? So if you don't have it and you just adjust your front lens, you're either seeing very close or you're seeing very far. And then a small change in distance is the difference between it being clear and blurry, like by like a foot. When I use the iris, it's like I have a broader range of clarity, So like if I zero in on that, so that's clear.
Yeah, we get it.
I won't be able to see that.
You're just mansplaining how a camera lens works.
I think everybody understands it.
But I like it. I like it a lot.
Because that iris idea is just a copy of what's on those cameras. Because that's exactly how a camera lens
There's
works.
a company that's trying to
They sell them for $400.
Yeah, there's a company.
That was the company that did it first. They're on TNVC. I forget the name of them, but they charge $400 for that.
I saw in the Facebook groups, like some people were like, "Oh, these guys can't sue you because you're putting an iris on your night vision."
Yeah, no, they can't because again, they're just taking the same design that every high-end camera lens has and putting it small scale into night vision. They have a trademark on how they do it because they don't have the lever. Theirs is the actual physical cap. You just rotate it and it closes.
Yeah, but don't cameras also have that?
They do in a different way. The way that they do it, they patented their design. So if you copy it one for one, sure, they could come after you with a cease and desist. But for that's not how they do it. That's actually pretty slick.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Oh, and then I have my X-Fog on it. And I used to do the Valhalla gasket and all that stuff, but honestly, now I just take the tubes and just put them in the corners of my iPro and it does the trick. Because you can't see through your nines if your iPro's fogged up. So that's super important. Jordan, you helped me out with the scrim. I probably have to redo it.
Just add more to it.
Yep, and then just repro tomahawk in the back with my glow-in-the-dark patch that gives me away at night, but helps teammates identify me. And then I have IR chem lights because they look cool.
Valid.
Yep.
IR chem lights look very cool.
That's valid.
Yeah. If it looks cool, it is cool.
Yep.
I also love that you call it a repro tomahawk. It's a mohawk.
Whatever.
Same.
Yeah. Who cares? I can see in the dark.
There is no difference between the repro one and the real one.
It's the finest, only the finest of Chinesium.
It's not like a plate carrier where the actual dimension, this does not have to
stitching matters.
It does not have to be symmetrical. I don't care.
Look, I remember when TNVC first came out with the Mohawk, I was so excited for it. I bought one the day they came out. Now there's repros of them. They're the exact fucking same thing. You don't need to spend $100 on it.
And the 4D pads, Dave, I'm going to quote you on this because what you said is so true. 4D pads feel like sex on your head.
Yeah.
It's like your head is in a cloud of sex. It's so comfortable. They're just so squishy. I love it. Okay. Your helmet, Dave. What do you have?
I have a Real Team Wendy bump helmet. And then with tan accents, only because Tyler Erico had the tan Team Wendy, and I said
the black one.
I said, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we switched?" And he's like, "Sure." So I switched, and I think it was good. It was a good switch.
You made out with the better half.
You didn't spray paint your helmet?
No. No. I've got this little thing for deadlight purposes.
Do deadlights have to blink?
They're better if they blink.
Yeah.
Through night vision, it just looks like a light. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Jordan gave me this for the counterweight.
Oh yeah, that's my old.
Just a pouch.
Yeah,
And
it was. Fuck, who made that? I think it's EOG.
Sure. Yeah, it is. It says right there. And then I just used fishing weights in the back. I actually weighed my Sentinels, and so it's the exact same weight. Balance fine. I've got 40 pads on the inside. I don't put shit on my helmet. I don't like wearing helmets. I only wear helmets to look through night vision. So I don't give a shit. Like
You don't want the bush to break up
I
your
think the
figure.
scrim. I think the scrim looks stupid as fuck. Like across the board. I've never seen scrim. Like that looks fucking awful. Yours is pretty bad. Like I have never seen scrim look good. And Airsoft is 98% looking good.
It doesn't look good to Dave.
It's stupid to me. Like,
love it.
I think it looks pretty cool.
sure.
And you're allowed to have a differering opinion.
Yeah,
No,
that's
the
fine.
way I enjoy Airsoft is better than the way you enjoy Airsoft.
You
Man.
win. You win. I'll give it. You win. I give it to you. I what's the right word? I yield.
Capitulate.
I have a real Wilcox mount that has the real Wilcox wobble. So, but it's never failed when the nods are down. It doesn't matter. And I have old school fucking Sentinels, and they are a workhorse. I do have a recording system for it as well that I never use.
How well does it work?
Pretty well.
Yeah.
It's hard to get the camera is like
Tiny. It's
Yeah.
one of those pinhole
So
cameras.
How exactly do those cameras work? Is it using like mirrors?
No.
So
So there's a
there's a
couple
ring.
different options.
There's a bezel that goes on the back, and it fits around here. And so the camera is like this tiny little rectangle. So you do see it with your eye, but it's
not really in the way.
no, it's nothing.
And it has to be aimed like directly to the right spot.
Yeah,
So
that part's hard.
It's
but
a 3D printed ring that's supposed to hold it in place. I've used a couple of them in the past. I usually break the 3D printed ring. That's the smaller version. Then I have the one that requires the reflector. That takes so much distance between the eye and the nods that becomes frustrating to use.
so yeah, so
yeah,
actually,
like when you bring your gun up and your night vision hits
Oh,
your
it's-
optic.
Not even so much that, it's that now I have to have an extra like 3/4 of an inch to an inch pushed away in terms of my nods have to go further forward, which I have a Wilcox mount where that's really fucking hard to do. So more often than not, it's now bashing into my eye pro, which is now pushing it into my face, which is causing fogging. And then the left eye is not as far forward or far back.
That's one thing I learned doing night vision stuff. So like I might have my gun set up a certain way for the day and I'm super comfortable. My length of pull, where my optic is, right? Especially with like a short dot. But then when I put my night vision on, my nods will be bumping the back of my short dot.
so you just extend your stuff.
The eye relief is different. Yeah, but when you train clearing rooms, now
Whatever.
you have to
All
clear
right.
rooms at night with your gun all the way out here. And
Yeah. Okay. Well, then your gun's not set up right. Yeah. Here's the camera. It's very tiny. It looks like it would block a lot of your vision, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because of the way it sits. And this is like the recorder, and that's where you put the SD card. So I put a piece of Velcro. I forget which way I did it, but put a piece of Velcro there, and then this. I think I did it the other way so that this wasn't as long. And then that just sits right here.
I feel like every time I see one of the guys try to record stuff with the night vision recorder, like for some reason they always lose the footage. Either the SD card is corrupted, or they weren't actually recording when they thought they were recording,
Yeah,
or it
that's-
was recording but it stopped after 30 seconds, and they just have a bunch of 30-second clips on the
That-
SD card.
Yeah, that has happened with this. And
Then
then
it
I keep everything.
overheats.
I keep everything in this fancy little bag that Katrina got me for birthday or Christmas or whatever. It's a pretty slick little bag.
Yeah, it's neat.
It's also a high vis IR panel for if I get lost in the woods. It's got a separate little compartment for the MVGs themselves, the helmet.
That's pretty slick.
And then I keep an extra set of iPro in there, just in case. The iPro I usually wear is just the ESS crossbows with the photochromatic lenses because they're worth it.
They are worth it.
I have I have like 3 pairs of M frames. I have a pair of M frames that I use specifically for the helmet, where I took the ear part and I actually just like belt sanded it thin and put like heat shrink over it to kind of make it like soft. But
So you modified your iPro so it's not ANZ compliant?
No, he didn't modify the ballistic surface.
No, you
yeah,
modified
just the
frame.
part that goes on the ear, so that when I put the helmet on, like it doesn't get all kerfuffled. Because what happens sometimes with like if I don't modify the iPro, like if the helmet moves, it moves my iPro, and now it's like not on my eye. It's like lifting up and making gaps that I don't want. So I'd rather
I
protect
don't
my
have
eye.
that problem.
Yeah, I don't have the problem either.
I have a small head, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't have that problem. I almost wonder if that's because where you're, so on your cam fit, there's that like secondary adjustment, this piece.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is touching your iPro.
That's what it is. Yeah.
okay.
And I have a small head. Like my head sinks into the helmet. You know, I can't like.
Yeah.
Some small brain syndrome.
I have ears that don't hold ear pro. I have a small head.
You were not built for warfighting, my friend.
I'm a tunnel rat. That's really what I'm a tunnel rat.
I'm gonna give you a 1911 and a flashlight.
Or I'm a spy that's impersonating a child. You know.
You and Eric Colton.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my helmet's pretty basic as fuck because I never wear it unless I'm under nods, and I think having too much shit on your helmet is dumb. So that's just me.
Yeah.
And I do like the black. I like the black with the tan accents. I think it looks pretty sharp, especially with some mean M81 or even fucking multicam.
But you have all these, you want to put patches on there, like morale patches?
No.
Like born to shit, forced to wipe?
Now I came here brokenhearted, came to shit, but only farted. Then one day I took a chance, went to fart, and shit my pants. I saw that in a porta-john in Iraq. It was fucking amazing.
That's beautiful, actually.
Yeah. Porta-potty poetry.
Yeah.
So
you find like poems from like World War II. They found on like dead soldiers. You know, that's like one of those things. Like you go in a history museum.
Well,
there's a lot of beauty in the chaos.
It was different time. I feel like their poems would have been eloquent and nice and well written with good handwriting.
Oh yeah, like I will come. Like they'll find on a dead soldier a note that's like, I can't wait to come home and meet our daughter. You know,
yeah,
right?
It wasn't like, haha, I picked my nose and flicked it. It got in somebody's eyebrow.
Yeah. All right, so, Jordan, what do you have?
Let's see your monstrosity.
Mine's not actually as complicated as you think. Much like everyone else.
You're in denial, my friend.
No, it's not. Everything serves a purpose here. It's a Dragon Red airframe from 2014. Team Wendy Cam Fit, 4D pads.
Dragon Red or Big Dragon?
No, Dragon
not
Red.
Big Dragon.
This was a
Red Dragon.
No.
What's the company? They made airsoft parts?
Flaming Dragon.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I know back in 2013 and 14, there was a company called Dragon Red that made a lot of really high-end repro stuff. The airframe was like $100. That's what I bought. TNVC Mohawk. At the time, they only made them in tan and black, so I have a tan one. Deadlight. It's one of the Hellstar repros that we sell. I like it to blink. And then helmet scrim.
I actually like that.
Yeah, these are great. They're like $40. It also has a functioning IR one, so if you flick the button on top, it goes into IR mode. It blinks.
What kind of batteries does it take?
One CR123. In case I need a second deadlight, I have one of the, I forgot what company makes these. It's Unity Tactical. It's their marker light, so it's a green one that blinks. That's just in case, because I like to have a deadlight on the front and the back.
Where's your third deadlight?
Usually on my plate carrier. Cry airframe cover that I put scrim on, Comtac 3s on the arc rail mounts, and then a Wilcox mount with Nocturne katanas. The one thing that I'm really picky about is that everything has to have a retention lanyard. So like this is retention lanyard in. I have an extra lanyard that hangs off over here for my camera. These have a retention lanyard on them, and the arc rails, they're retention lanyard in, the arc rail mounts for the Comtacs. Besides that, there's nothing crazy going on. I think I still have my mount over here for the Unity Tactical Marker, which is like a swivel Surefire mount. That thing falls off, so I took it off. Yeah.
Oh,
it's usually in front. No, I think I did finally take it off. Yeah. Oh no, it's on this side. It's a little brown knob that interlinks, and you can put a Surefire light on a swivel mount. This fucking falls off all the time. No matter how tight I make it, the actual physical Unity thing just falls off. So I don't use it. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of complex stuff going on here. It's just the fact that the scrim is really messy, which is what I prefer.
You do you, brother.
Yeah, I think it's time I finally replace my chin strap, because I bought the helmet in 2014. I bought the chin strap with it too. This thing is like starting to fall apart, so I should probably.
Well, it's like biodegrading.
Yeah,
so it's slowly becoming one with nature.
When I got this, it was tan. It is not tan anymore. I should probably get a new one this year.
So that's how you turn tan into Ranger Green. It's salt.
It's salt. It's a lot of salt. I don't mind wearing my helmet during the daytime, but it depends on the game. So like for MUTC, Guardian Center, Shelby, I'll wear my helmet the whole game. If we're playing something like Panthera, helmet's coming off during the day. And that's the only reason I have the Comtacs on the arc rails, is because for Benghazi, GRS was required to wear a helmet at all times when they were outside of the compound. So I did not want to fight with Comtacs under the helmet, and I was using the Scar H blank fire. So I went and bought the adapter rails and was like, I'm putting Comtacs on my helmet.
Yeah.
I do like to run a camera though, so it's been a uphill battle trying to figure out how to balance the scrim with a camera so it's not blocking it. That's why I have the Velcro on the side. I'll put my contour camera on the actual ComTac. I like the angle. Yeah, that's really it. And then for counterweight, I'll just put a external battery for like your phone or whatnot in there, and I'll run the wire to my camera so it'll stay charged. Yeah.
Well, so we have helmet setups from least expensive to most expensive.
Yeah, I guess they are kind of. Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break so we can set up for the gear, and we'll be right back. All right, everybody, we're back. We've got all our gear laid out, and then we're going to go through the gear set. Anthony, start us off.
So I have other gear that's not here, but this is the stuff that actually like matters because it's what I wear the most. So my Cry AVS, I spent a long time wasting money on plate carrier setups because I was trying to avoid buying an AVS. I got like JPC, repros, and all these different kinds of things. And when wearing plates got like super uncomfortable because it pinched the shoulders because there's no harness on those. I got like the Eagle Industries Ergo harness thing, and that was just super uncomfortable. Eventually, I just sold all that stuff, and I got an AVS, and it's the most comfortable plate carrier on the planet. Mine is pretty basic. Like, I don't run a cummerbund. If I'm doing a longer event or something, I might take some pouches from like my chest rig, like my canteen pouch or radio pouch, or like this canteen pouch that I used to hold my night vision, and I'll just like weave that through the through the side harness molly. I like placards, so I got this Repro buckle thing. It's not the real one. I got it cheap off like Amazon or eBay, and it just lets me buckle on placards. Shaw Concepts placard, and I'm trying out the unobtainium sled inserts for it. Prior to that, I used the Shaw Concepts quad M4 mag thing, and honestly, these were just weird. I think it's because I'm like small, and it's a medium plate carrier. And if I was a larger person with a large plate carrier, I'd have more real estate to actually fit 4 M4 mags. But without that, like, my placard kind of hangs off on the side. I don't really care. If I wanted to change my insert to use stick mags or something, I can, or I can just change the placard out. I like this placard because it has molly up front. So I can put pouches on it, whether if I want to run that GP pouch or this little Blue Force gear or throw 40 mil grenade pouch on it or whatever. I like danglers. I'll always have some type of dangler on it. I have the Repro Simp one. I have this one holds a little bit more stuff, or I have like a hand warmer, which I'll show you on my chest rig. Nothing crazy. Repro zipper, got it cheap on eBay. It was like $5 because the Velcro is kind of annoying. So the zipper, it lets you just get in there easily, not really have to worry about it too much. And I got a little tourniquet holder. It's all Velcro. My kit's really made to kind of just like shift around depending on what I'm doing, like what game I'm playing or what event I'm going to. Then I have a Repro Ido Gear back panel. I could put an HPA tank in here, although it's a really tight fit. I'd have to do a small one, but really I just use it for like sustainment gear. If it's like a longer event, I know it's going to go on into the night or longer. I might put like a whoopee in there or something. Maybe some food, but that's my plate carrier. It's nothing crazy. It's just comfortable. That's all I really care about. And then these shoulder pads I got for free from like Tyler gave them to me because he doesn't use them anymore because he has Ranger green ones that are cool. So he gave me his black ones. But it just makes everything comfortable. And to me, that's the most important. I have real plates. Do I have real plates for Airsoft? No. We do shoot. So if we're shooting, sometimes I want to wear plates because if we're shooting steel or, if I'm shooting with you guys, I don't feel like I need to wear plates. Sometimes when we shoot,
So if you're worried about who's shooting with you, you'll wear plates?
If I'm worried about who's shooting with me, or like even if I were to like bring, I'm not worried about my wife because I taught her how to shoot. But if I was like teaching a family member how to shoot or something, like I'm wearing plates. I'm wearing plates. So that's that. If you run night vision, I totally recommend. I know I just talked about this, but like having somewhere to put your night vision during the day is super important. And whether if you put it in your ruck and leave it at like your PB, if you're at MilSim West, whatever, just put your night vision in something because you might not want it on your helmet all day. If you're not wearing your helmet during the day, you can just take your helmet off. But like, I like to have my night vision on my kit. I don't like to leave it. And I don't have super expensive night vision either, but I am worried about people stealing it.
Yeah.
So I just like to have it on me, tucked away. Chest rig. So this is my Spiritus at home. Not really Spiritus at home. This is like a special edition unobtainium gear chest rig. And it's like their LVX or LV whatever. And the basic version of this chest rig just has Velcro in the middle that comes together. And then you can put whatever placard you want on it. This is like a custom one where there's integrated M4 pouches and then there's a zipper. So it's really easy to take off, but I completely redacted that convenient feature because keeping the zipper there made it so I couldn't really do other things with it. So I have like a sandwich pouch back here that'll hold my like phone, like my personal phone. And then this ATAC holder will hold like the ATAC device I'm using. I just got this pouch here. It's basically a fanny pack, but Unobtainium makes it, and their M4, their triple M4 mag pouch, it's not spaced like Molly. So if I put like a Molly thing on it, it like scrunches the mag pouches and makes it weird. So this is actually spaced to go right onto their mag pouches, and I can put inserts into it to hold more mags. Right now I just have like a microfiber rag and a bear horn because I was just doing something where there could have potentially been a bear, and bear horns are nice when you have airsoft guns and there's a bear that shows up. Like, it's nice. You have pouches, you can put like a multi-tool. I have chem lights because they look cool. And actually what I was doing last weekend, they were actually using chem lights for stuff. So is that little Velcro inserts on the back. I can hold even more M4 mags. Got a little squishy pad so it's comfortable and breathable. You know, you gotta be comfortable. And I just got these like Eagle Industries radio pouches. No, I don't carry two Baofangs on me. This one is for like a different radio if I get given a different radio to use. Yeah, and Opitac made this pouch, homemade raid. It's just like a general purpose. It can hold like a water bottle. I'll usually put a water bottle in it. It could also hold mags, nothing crazy. And then canteen pouch. I like canteen pouches over Camelbacks. I've seen too many Camelbacks break and get water everywhere, so I just like to have a big canteen. And it's been very cold lately, and I just did something at night where it was very cold, so I have my hand warmer here instead of a normal dangler. It's got a little pouch so I can put some hand warmers, and I can stick my hands in there. And what I have stuffed in here right now are just like some cold weather gloves and like a neck gaiter. So I was keeping it warm with my hand warmer in case it got really cold and I was sitting around and I wanted to just throw it on and be warm. But yeah, I basically turned it into a Spiritus. Like it's basically like if I got like one of the microfight rigs and got like a thing 2 for it and put all the stuff on it, that's basically what I got. And Jordan was making fun of me for that, and he's right. He's the right one. So, you know, nothing crazy. And then, we'll talk about belts. This is what I use when we do like USPSA. So pretty much just a bunch of pistol mag pouches. I hardly use a pistol in airsoft. Sometimes I do because it looks cool, and sometimes I just want to try to get a pistol kill. But really, I have all these pistol mag pouches for USPSA, and then this M4 mag pouch will, hold an M4 mag. Sometimes I can put my phone in there if it fits. I just got a new phone, so it doesn't fit anymore. Or I could shove 2 more pistol mag pouches. I have a dump pouch. Not because I'm like stowing mags in my dump pouch all the time. It's for doing USPSA. This is where I put the sticker gun. I'll just put like random things like that in there. Got a watch hanging because the watch strap broke and I still want to be able to tell the time. So I just have it clipped on, have gloves on it, a little IFAK, some shears, and then T-Rex arms holster on the QLS, like the Safariland QLS fork. I love the Safariland mid-ride QLS thing. And this holster is great for USPSA stuff, but for airsoft, I don't recommend this, honestly. If you want to protect your pistol, I'd say actually get a Safariland. I've had my pistol fall out of this, So I put this little bungee thing here so I can actually like bungee the back strap of my pistol so it's less likely to fall out. And also it doesn't protect my slide. So airsoft guns are not as durable as actual firearms. So I've had the slide of my airsoft Glock like hit a rock when I was going prone, and it like dented it, and it like pushed into the blowback housing, and the gun didn't work, and I had to like flatten it. I had to like take it apart and flatten it out. So, you know, pot metal. Yeah. And this is just an Eagle belt. It's not a crazy belt, not the super GBRS high speed thing. Surplus Eagle. I don't know why. It works. It doesn't adjust itself, which is kind of nice. Eagle inner belt. Nothing super fancy there. If I'm not running this belt, I'll just use a rigger's belt. It fell off the table. So yeah, the rigger's belt's more comfortable. And if I'm not running a belt setup, you can bet on me always having like just a normal like civilian looking fanny pack. This is an American Eagle fanny pack, and it holds my things. Last podcast we talked about like I like to have a dedicated pouch to put personal items, and only personal items, so that I never have a reason to open it while I'm playing. That way I know I have my stuff on me and it's secure. A fanny pack tends to be one of those pouches. And then I just got this little backpack, and it's really nice because if Jordan's going to show his Grom harness if he has it. Last time we talked about with that harness setup, we don't have to carry a full-size ruck because you can put a lot of your sustainment gear in the pouches on that harness. And then this is just an extra little bag you could throw on top of it. This is an LBX. It's kind of neat. I just got it. It can hold like hydration bladder, which I don't use. I can hold like maps, can put some Molly on it. Or if I'm running HPA, I could put a tank in it. I'd probably want to use this if I'm running HPA. Could definitely fit a bigger tank in here. Yeah, my gear's not that crazy or extravagant. And then here's one more thing. This is my wife's airsoft chest rig. And occasionally if I'm doing drone stuff and the drone happens to be controlled using like a tough book or an iPad, I found this pouch on Amazon. It is so hard to find a Molly pouch that is big enough to hold a tablet or a little tough book. So I found this. I wish they had other colors, but they don't. But I just have this because it will hold one of these, which allows me to do other stuff. And this is just another hydration cheapo pouch. Got to have water on you. It's super important. This is a Repro Eagle Industries one. It's not on my actual kit because it's IR reflective and it's a shiny nylon as opposed to the actual Ranger Green Eagle Industries. But otherwise, just, you know, super simple chest rig. So that's, that's my stuff.
Good job, Ant.
Yeah, my gear's boring.
All of our gear's boring.
Yeah.
Because it's just airsoft.
And the more stuff you wear, the more uncomfortable you're going to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's never going to be perfect. So for my setup, I just have a Ranger Green ABS, medium plates, medium harness. When I bought the ABS, I was a medium plate, medium harness type of guy. Now, I'm probably a large, you know, by all the fault of my own. So now when I put this on, I look like I'm like a tube of toothpaste being squeezed, you know. It's super great. I fit right into the airsoft community. I blend in, if you will. That's something I need to work on. But it's just a Ranger Green ABS. It is the most comfortable plate carrier. If you're wearing real plates, if I was wearing real plates, I would wear an ABS. It supports the weight really well. I do not have real plates in right now. I used to have real plates in, but then I was like, I play airsoft. This is dumb. If the boogaloo happens, I'm aged out.
Yeah, but now you're a large.
Yeah, exactly. I'm aged out. Young guys are going to be fighting the boogaloo, not me. Who cares? I'm just playing airsoft, so I put foam plates in because if you're wearing a plate carrier, you should absolutely have some type of plate inside because that's how they're designed. So you can use foam plates or plastic plates or whatever. Again, it's airsoft. I'm not worried about it. I'm not doing my training, you know.
But training.
When we did a lot of live fire, indoor live fire and stuff like that, I did put the real plates back in just for whatever the fuck, right? So the front is just a rig. Jordan, what rig is this? That's a Haley. It's a Haley. It's just a Haley chest rig. And I like the pouch layout because I'm a dinosaur. Once I find something that works, I never change for the rest of my life. You can bury me in this. I will use this and be proficient with this. Change is bad. And I like the layout. I got a couple GP pouches up front, and then 4 M4 mag pouches. I'm never gonna like main an AK or a 308.
Even if you did, you could put AK mags in those pouches.
Sure, right? But like again, I'm a dinosaur and I'm stuck in my ways. And so it's just 4 mags, 1 in the gun. So you got 5. If I wear my belt, I can get 6. And then I got these cool little straps on the side. These little like bungee straps. I think you found these.
Yeah, T-Rex Arms has them. I try to use them, but
I like them because it stops the plate carrier from flapping around. Plus, you don't have these unused like buckles just flapping around. It brings everything, cinches everything in tight. I dig them. I just zip tied them in place.
Yeah,
because it's airsoft and who cares. I've got these custom. These are for tag grenades. These grenade holders. I think Mario made those. I just recently, within the past 2 years, moved my light to the chest because when it was on my helmet, it didn't matter how many zip ties I used, it would just flop and dangle and when it's on your head, you can hear it. It's like magnified, and I hated it. And plus, I saw Grantham do it, so I was like, that must be cool. So I moved it there, and I remember the last couple of night games, I kept it here, and it's actually very usable, even for light if you just need light, because it's right there in your like workspace. You don't have, and you can look away, and it's not like. So I'm going to keep it there for right now. We'll see what happens later on. I don't have the pads on the straps because who cares? Let's see. I've got an indescript radio pouch on my left side that I usually use for staff radio, and then just recently I put on this cheap Molly, who knows what thing, so I can carry a second radio when I'm doing command stuff. On the back, I have a custom bag made by a friend of ours who does upholstery for aircraft. I very rarely wear it. But it is nice to have. You can carry. I think I used it for hydration last event I went to.
Open it up.
And it opens.
I want one of these.
Like so. These are unobtainium. They're rare and they don't exist anymore. I think JoJo's the only other one I think that has it. So it's got the Velcro on the inside. So if I wanted to, I could put dividers in there. I think I have the dividers at home. But again, I don't really use it that much. You could stack. They're perfect to stack tag grenades like horizontally. You can get like 6 or 8 in there. So the guy behind you can just reach in there and take it out. It's nice and rigid, which I like. It's not flopping all around everywhere. And it's just Velcroed. It's just Velcroed on. There are some safety clips that you can like use to secure it in there. I don't do that anymore because I had it safety clipped in and Velcroed. And I was trying to crawl through a fence, and the fence caught the top of this bag, and I was stuck.
You'd rather it rip off and just grab it out.
I'd rather the bag rip off. There's plenty of Velcro real estate there. It once it's on, it's on. It's not going anywhere. Yeah, nothing crazy, right? Like, because I'm not training. I'm just playing airsoft.
I'm training.
Just playing airsoft. And then my only other gear option that I have that I really care about or even give a shit about is this chest rig. Jordan, who makes this? It's a Mayflower chest rig. It does have like different inserts that you can do for different mags, but who cares? I'm going to run an M4 until we defeat communism in New York.
And even if you ran an AK, you could still put them in there.
Yes, if I was a communist. And it's just got it's got an appropriate amount of pouches, and there's no more, no less than I'll ever use, and I like that. It's very rare that I wear a chest rig, but if I'm gonna wear a chest rig, I'll wear this one.
I prefer Dos Equis.
Yeah, right. In terms of my belt setup, this is really just set up for when we shoot our pistols out here after Zulu closes, but I will wear it for like larger events because it does have the extra M4 pouch or M4 mag pouches, just some gloves. I don't like a lot of shit on my hips, so there's no like IFAK or anything crazy like that. If I am wearing this for airsoft, I probably won't even have a pistol in there. because there's no point. And then this thing's cool. What the hell is this thing?
Who makes that fanny pack?
I bought it here.
Oh, it's Cordura.
Whatever. It's a cool little fanny pack. This is where I keep like lube for the boss system. I'll carry extra batteries in here. This pouch is actually pretty useful. I really like it. It's a good place for my fat belly to sit, like right on top. And then I just looped it through the molly, so when I need to take the belt off, I just do that. And I've never had it come off of there yet, as of this recording. And then just a Safari Land for a Glock. That again, I don't carry a freaking pistol for airsoft. Some S-Tac pouches here. These are also S-Tac, but there's like the model that had the molly on the outside. They were just out of this style. But I don't like the molly out there.
And I can just keep stacking.
No,
things.
I hate it. I don't like molly there. I think this looks clean, you know. But that's it. It's very functional. It's very functional, and I almost never wear it. So
Yeah.
So how functional is it really? That's it.
Yeah. The only reason why we have an actual Cry AVS is because
Because I don't want to buy 6 replicas.
it's just so comfortable. It's so comfortable.
Well, and the stitching and the material, everything is better, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's typing right now. Well, actually, the Krydex one is just as good. They use the same D, whatever the fuck. I've had that plate. Jesus, I don't even know how long I've had that plate carrier. More than 5 years. I had that plate carrier, and I, on average, play once a weekend, and it's fine. It's a little discolored just because of the sun. But there's nothing fraying. There's nothing like, all the buckles still work. It's been shot with BBs all over the place, so like nothing's cracked or missing or anything like that. And I don't know that I would ever buy another plate carrier.
Salt will turn brown fabric into Ranger green, and it'll turn Ranger green fabric into Coyote brown.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
Yeah.
So,
Oh boy.
Jordan, you up, baby?
Okay. I don't know what I want to talk about.
Right here.
I'm a gear whore. Oh, that's my Grom rig. I wear this when we go play with the Polish dudes. It's so fun fact, it looks like a JPC. It's not. This is the Polish copy of the JPC. I think this is the Currahee one. It's either Currahee or Red River. There's a consistent theme across the board with all my gear. My mags are in the same spot. Everything else is just whatever. I do, however, like nice things. So I have the axle zippers, the S&S Precision phone deck, and I think these are Spiritus tubes, right? Yeah, these are the Spiritus tubes. Just because I don't like having to do a lot of shit to take my plate carrier on and off. The AVS is already enough. Yeah, rifle mags in the front. I don't like to have other shit on the sides unless I need to. The one thing I do like with all of my gear is that I have a dump pouch, and it's not like a normal dump pouch. It's like a pouch that's always empty, so I can stuff something in it last minute. So like I never fucking put anything here. I just put random shit that I need to, and like in a moment's notice where I'm like I just need somewhere to throw it, it's going in there. Smoke grenade pouches, dangler. I like to have a dangler on every rig. Usually it's a snack or something. AVS bag on the back, just because this is my favorite backpack, and pretty much every single one of my plate carriers is going to have it. The AVS bag is super cool because it can mount to a plate carrier, or you can wear it as a normal backpack. Prime example. AVS backpack for normal use. I will wear this with a chest rig. This one pretty much stays on the back of this plate carrier. And that's really that. The one thing I do like about that one over the normal Cry one is like all of our AVSs, you can put, that's my alarm. You can put pads on the inside of the AVSs. The Grom JPCs, you can put pads on the inside, which the normal Cry JPC you can't. They're like memory foam kind of pads, kind of like the 4Ds. These are super comfy. But you can take these and just as easily stick them to the inside of your AVS. I wouldn't put one there. Oh God, that's heavy. I actually have plates in mine. For Airsoft, just plastic plates. This one has normal plates or Hesco plates in it. Yeah, I think Hesco's. And that's really it with that. This is my RRV like we were talking about last episode. basically the new Spiritus rigs and the unobtainium ones are just a fancier way to have an RRV. This chest rig's older than some players. It still works just as fine. I'm just gonna get this out of the way. The RRV is made by Eagle Industries. They're generally dirt cheap. I like the Ranger Green ones, but consistent theme. Like to have my mags in the front. Everything else is just ancillary. I got a radio pouch on the side, grenades for when we have EG67s, and a random stuff pouch so I could just throw, like right now there's a hat in there. Take a hat off, throw it in there. And this was made before danglers existed, so I don't have a dangler. I just took a horizontal GP pouch and put it on the last row of Molly because I still like to have a dangler. It's convenient. What else we got? So this is my AVS. This is the one that Dave makes fun of me for having way too much shit on it. Still consistent theme. Rifle mags up front. If I'm wearing this, I am going to wear a belt, so my pistol mags will go on my belt. 2 radios, because usually I only wear this for games like MilSim West, and we need to have radios. So have those. Same TYR 5x5 on the right side that I have on the Eagle Industries rig, because I, again, like to have a random GP pouch I could just throw shit into. Normally there's a dangler there. It's on a different chest rig right now. I don't understand why the axle zippers are so expensive, so I just made my own. The axle zippers are like $80. This was like $3 in fabric and a zipper, so I just made my own. Yeah, and besides that, you've already heard about all the other AVSs, so it's not much different. Besides, I like to run the 3-band. I know you don't. Do you normally? Yeah, you have the.
Oh, the outer? No,
yeah,
no.
I like to run the 3-band because I do like to have other shit on the outside of it. Like I know this GP can hold 3 AFG 6s or 5 AFG 4s in it, so I can reach back there and grab more. Because again, with this Cry back panel, I can fit like 12 more grenades right here. So when we go to MSW games, it's like 3 grenades here, 3 grenades here. I know this can hold 5 or 6 more AFG 6s, so I haven't even tested with the AFG 4s how many this will hold. This is usually just filled with grenades, and it'll zip off. So if I didn't want to wear it, I could put the AVS bag on the back instead, or run it slick. Usually if we have to ruck, I'm taking this off because this is super uncomfortable to have on your back if you have to put a ruck on. Rucks are already uncomfortable to begin with, but I'm not going to add extra shit onto my back when I don't need to. And yeah, I have Hesco level 4s in there. You're not going to catch me playing Airsoft with those. I'm going to take them out and put plastic plates in, just because I don't want to destroy my shoulders for no reason.
It's good cardio, though.
It is good cardio, but also, to be fair, let's think about the amount of times you see me playing and I always have a chest rig on instead.
Yeah.
Because more often than not, I'm wearing this chest rig. And this is a Plat-Attack Peacekeeper. I have no idea which generation because they're on like Gen 5. Richie gave it to me. I threw a dangler on it. Threw a 417 double mag pouch that acts as that stuff pouch because you could fit 4 AR mags in here, so I could just randomly throw shit in there. It comes with 2 integrated PRC 152 pouches, so if I needed to move those radios, I could more often, because I did play with this rig on Sunday. It's got an extra Kythera tank in it because it fits the tanks perfectly. Yeah, so there's an extra 13 CI there. And then rifle mags up front. I usually like to carry at least 6 on the front. With the AVS, I can only carry 4. And I've never found a use for this little pouch. This is an integrated like dangler pouch. These are cool for chem lights, but I never found something small enough to fit in here. So I don't use it most of the time.
Gotta get Nerds Rope or Slim Jims.
Yeah. Slim, you know what? Slim Jims would fit.
Yeah.
The one thing I do like is I prefer an H harness on all of my chest rigs. I know the Plat-Attacks come with an X harness. I would never, my shoulders are too wide. I don't like it. The Eagle RRV, that comes with an X harness. I had to make a custom H harness for it. So basically all I did was take 1-inch or 2-inch Cordura and basically loop it over itself and duct tape it in place. There was a company, I think it was Kosher Surplus for a while, that wasn't making H harness conversion kits for this. They're out of stock, can't find them, so I just made my own. Because again, I prefer an H harness far and above any other system for a chest rig. Plus with an H harness, it's a lot more comfortable when you decide to throw a backpack on with it. So that's what I like to do with those. Yeah, I prefer chest rigs over plate carriers just because it's easier for me. The only downside to most chest rigs, I mean, the unobtainium one's pretty modular. This is set in place. There's 6 rifle mags and 2 PRC pouches. You can add a dangler and you have 2 rows of molly on each side. I had to custom put this on. This is the Haley like phone deck holder. I had to zip tie it on because it's not meant to go there, but it works perfectly fine. So if I need to, I'll move the SNS phone holder over to that and run that. I used to have a different chest rig that I liked more, but Richie converted me with these. Plus, he has like 36 of them, so I just went and stole one.
Jesus.
Richie has one in every single color they make and in multiple generations. Like, I have a bunch of his stuff over there. I'm pretty sure there's 3 more in there.
Every time I talk to Richie on the phone, he's bought more items from Plat Attack.
He like called me one day and was just like, dude, they're releasing 6 in multicam Alpine. Should I buy one? I'm like, Richie, you haven't played in 6 months. He's like, I bought one. I'm like, okay, man.
He pressed purchase now before he made the phone call.
Yeah, he did. He was like, I bought one in multicam Alpine. I'm like, good for you, man. You're never gonna wear it. Can I borrow that?
He's just he needs that justification.
Yeah,
Like,
they are comfy though. I do like them. They do have much like his unobtainium one. It does have an integrated pouch up here. I never use that for anything besides putting an external battery, because if I'm running the phone holder, I want to keep my phone charged because ATAC will destroy your fucking battery. So I'll put an internal battery in the chest rig. And that's really it. Belt kits I hate. I don't like wearing them. I will wear the harness rig, which I have over there. Far and above though, Safariland holsters. I like the QLS forks. I have 2 of these. This is the one for the M17, which I swear, I don't remember who I was talking to about this. This is the best holster Safariland's ever made, this specific M17 holster. This fits every gun.
oh, fancy.
This fits and locks my Glock, my 229, my 226, a USP.
Does it lock on the light?
Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. No, it locks to the ejection port. Whatever they did with the M17 level 3 holsters, it fits every like mid-size, full-size handgun made. Like we tested with the Airsoft Glocks, real Glocks.
It'll hold a 19?
It'll hold a 19.
Regardless what light?
Well, you should have a TLR1 or an X300. That's what this holster is made for.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll fit an X300 or a TLR1 with no issue. Like I could show you off air. It's kind of funny. Like it does not matter which gun I put in here. It's going to lock to the ejection port, obviously within reason. Like you're not fitting a fucking Desert Eagle. But the fact my KWC USP fit in here too was hilarious.
They accidentally made an omnivore.
They accidentally made a super universal holster, and I saw one other person on Reddit that pointed it out because they have it too. And then immediately they got shit on because they're like, you should use the right holster for the right gun. I'm like, I understand that logic, but when it comes to Airsoft, the fact that this was already a $200 holster and every handgun I would want to use fits in it, I'm fair game with that. That's fine. I do have a, where is it? I do have a hand warmer like Anthony does. I just wear it around my waist. I made a custom 1-inch elastic, or not elastic, 1-inch Cordura waist strap. So no matter what rig I put it on, I can. And then I have another set of buckles that have Velcro. So if I wanted to put it on a plate carrier, I could Velcro it to a plate carrier, because that's what it originally came with. Yeah.
Hand warmers are underrated.
They're underrated, but
Yeah, my hands don't get cold. I don't know what it is. My hands don't get cold.
I primarily use that for reffing. Because more often than not, I just have extra camera batteries in there so they stay warm, because like the camera batteries are super susceptible to the cold. So I'll keep them in there to keep them warm. But when I'm playing, like I had it on last Sunday and I didn't need it. It just looked cool. And hey, that's part of the battle. It looks cool. If we want to talk about the Grom rig, we can.
Grab it.
Grab it. Talk about the Grom
It's
rig.
a great gear shakedown. Come on, we got to talk about your 17 rigs.
So many different rigs.
I have the same rig. I only
look.
got that rig so I could be kosher when I play with
Look
Grom.
at this fucking thing.
So this is far and above way too much shit to play with here. But it is a perfect MilSim West rig. It is not meant to be like a fast rig. So like I had a moment in time where I was playing here and I was like, I can't get to mags quick enough.
Yeah.
This is perfect for Woods MSW games. It's not perfect for playing here. This is what we were talking about on the last episode, how I have big PKM box mag pouches. Like there's 2 Arc'teryx jackets in here.
Yeah.
Same thing with the butt pouch. I can fit my whoopee, my sleeping pad, extra water, all of that in here. This is a Spiritus just a pouch, so I could carry extra rifle mag and pistol mag there. It's usually a multi-tool and a set of Allen keys.
Yeah.
And then this, I know this has face paint in it right now. That's where I'll actually keep my jet boil, and then this is where I'll keep my food. So like you can have cold gear and water.
Yeah.
But when you have a
it
rig
replaces a full-size ruck, and then you just have an assault pack on top of that.
Yeah.
And
plus 8 rifle mags, so I can have 6 here, 1 on the other side. Talking about buckles though, every single one of my buckles has been shot.
yes, they are.
And they are cracked as
They
fuck.
are weak buckles.
Every single one of my buckles has been shot. Thankfully, there's Velcro there.
Like when you look at the packing list for MSW, like all the red items,
I can fit all the red items in here.
bivy,
Yeah.
sleeping pad, maybe not a sleeping bag, but
If it's a warm weather game and I'm just running like a 50-degree sleeping bag,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll fit in there.
I brought a sleeping bag to my first one and I didn't even sleep in it. If I got cold, I just put my whoopee on it. I had my bivy. Inside of the bivy was my sleeping pad. On top of that, in the bivvy was my sleeping bag.
Yeah.
I inflated the pad, and I just slept on top of the entire thing. I didn't even get in the bivvy. I just had a whoopee on.
But because this has nothing going on in the back, you can very quickly take something like an AVS bag, and it fits perfectly there.
Yep.
So in terms of a sustainment rig, this is fantastic. You don't fucking need this at all to play here. This is far too much. And even when I do wear this rig to play here, because it's comfy, it's usually because we're about to go play a game entirely in the woods. And I just want to run around and have a lightweight rig, because it's as much stuff as this is. If you dump all this shit out and just carry mags and water, it's really lightweight.
Yeah. If we ever wear that here, it's just because we're doing kit shakedown and we're just trying to.
Yeah, I did do a day before the May MSW where I loaded this up with every single item I was carrying that game, plus my ruck, and I went and played. And then that was a doozy of a time, but it was fun, and I learned that it was actually exactly what I wanted for that rig.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to wrap it up for the gear shakedown. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this.
We're nerds.
If you have any gear suggestions, put them down below. If you think it's all cringy, put it down below.
Or maybe we should let people submit pictures of them in their kit, and we rate their kit. I know everybody does that. I know everybody that films themselves and puts it on the internet does that. But
all I got was flashbacks of Hoffenator 7 gear reviews.
Loved them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but gear is so personal.
yeah.
It's like no two people, unless they're trying, are going to end up with the same gear at the same time. And so I don't think it's really fair to judge people's gear, because if it's like,
I mean, prime example, there's 3 AVSs here.
Well, we can at least judge it on the factor of does it look cool,
yeah, I guess. But I mean,
which is all that Airsoft.
what's the old saying? It's not a bad idea if it works.
Oh, if it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid.
Yeah. So the same thing with gear. If the gear looks stupid but it works, is it stupid? Not for that. Not for that person. You know what I mean? So, and who the fuck are we? You know,
No.
to be like, your gear looks dumb. What? Who cares?
What do you mean? We filmed ourselves and put it on the internet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, that's right.
That
And
means
somebody's going to hate that my
opinions-
chest rig is ATAX.
Yeah.
Like,
Our opinions must matter because we are on
No.
the internet.
We are literally just doing this to talk at each other.
It might be fun though. I mean, people do like just, roast my kit is like a whole Reddit thing.
it is.
You know.
And sure, absolutely.
It's just it's a fun time, to be honest with you.
if there's one thing I've learned, it's that you think you have a perfect rig until something better comes along.
Not me.
Except for the AVS. Because even when I sold my original AVS, I bought another one. But when it comes to chest rigs, like I started with a split front Eagle Industries chest rig. Now I have an RRV and a Plat Attack rig. I just refuse to buy Spiritus.
The way that I play Airsoft is better than the way that you play Airsoft. Buh.
Sure.
All right. With that, everybody, good night. God bless. We're out.
Bully Grimner.
Billy Grimner.